Hello, hello, hello. So I'm here. We are doing a live stream before the fifth episode, talk about the highlights and a couple of thoughts from the first two episodes. Okay, hello, hello, hello. Okay, we're back. Something happened with the live stream. I'm not exactly sure what happened, but we are back. And I wanted to again just welcome you. Thanks for watching, subscribing, liking. Please consider subscribing because when I do come on live or when I upload a video, you will get the notification. And I do appreciate your comments and your likes. So, where was I? In the beginning of the episode, I talked about, you can kind of see some of the standout stars that, or I should say, not stars, but bachelors that Hannah B could probably like. And I did do a separate video on that, but that was like Jed, Tyler, Connor, Peter, Mike J, and so on and so forth. Also, in the first two episodes, you see well, actually, the first episode, you saw the woman from previous Bachelorettes, things that you put in your face, the needles, because sometimes it's just really, it's really not necessary. Um, and I will say that noticing that people are getting it younger and younger. If you notice, one of the ladies, on the Bachelorette, the season premiere, kind of had a lot, and it's all of that filler is really just not necessary. So, just want to say his name. And I just wanted to talk because his name was Scott. She had Demi and Katie come in and kind of do a scope out or whatever you want to call it to find out who was there for the right reasons. And this guy allegedly had a girlfriend. Now, they didn't really have any substantial proof of him having a girlfriend except for the rumors. He never said he had a girlfriend, but yet he got kicked out of the house for having a girlfriend. I thought this was a little, taken too far. We have to remember before these guys came on The Bachelorette, they all had dating lives. So one person dating someone and they didn't really take that dating relationship seriously, but yet maybe the girl took it seriously. And he's telling her, oh, I don't know if I'm going to make it to the end. If I don't, maybe, when I get back in town, maybe we can have something, maybe we don't. He's leaving that door open. But we have to remember, she started out with 33 guys. 32 of them are not going to end up with her. So they all had dating lives before they came on The Bachelorette, and they'll have dating lives, if they don't become, a monk or a priest or whatever, or just, decide to choose singleness for the rest of their lives. They're going to be dating after, and even when you're single, you can still date. So, I mean, they'll be dating after the Bachelorette. They all want to find love. So, or love to find that, whatever you want to say. So I didn't understand why it was made such into a big deal. He said, I don't have a girlfriend. Okay, these are all rumors and hearsay. He dated a girl. So I'm not going to go on about that. That's all I wanted to say. Please let me know. Episode 3, Cam to this interrupt. The key issue was the key issue came in when he kept. Hello, hello, hello. I'm back. So I think what I was saying was the key issue is that he was interrupting and with the sense of entitlement that what he had to say was more important than any of the other guys. When he interrupted Mike J on 3+ different occasions, he's like, I have something really important to say, and it just got to the point where it's just a little desperate, and it reeked a bit of desperation. It's just like, calm down, Cam. Everyone's there to meet with Hannah B and put their best foot forward. and also to pursue her. So yes, there's nothing wrong with you intending on being the first to speak with her and taking her aside and, you know, expressing yourself and how much you like her and your feelings and stuff like that. But then when other men are there and speaking with her, why do you feel the need to constantly interrupt them so they don't even have any time to do that? So it was kind of like he was sabotaging the other guy's time to be with her and that sort of thing. And I believe that was the main issue. And you know, in episode 3, we see him sharing some story. I don't even understand. It was a very, very weird story. Again, he interrupted. I need to talk to her. He said something about metaphorical cheers or something like that. And I mean, it was just the story was just a little, I don't know. And then there was a rumor going around that he was going to make up a story. Mike J said he was going to make up a story to pull the heartstrings of Hannah B. And that was kind of the catalyst to, you know, send him going home. And, you know, it was his time. It was his time. What do you think about the whole Cam fiasco and, you know, him constantly interrupting and all of that stuff? Was it a good strategy? Or did he really write his last chapter on the show? And did it really, you know, make it his, you know, bring him to his own demise? Let me know what you think about that. I would love to hear. Mike J did call him out on that. Moving on, Hannah was actually in a hospital, I believe. She recovered from that with the help of Connor. They had a nice little date, and you know, as she felt better, that date extended. So, I mean, that was basically the highlight from you know, episode 1, 2, 3. Now, episode 4, there was 15 guys left. They had a date in Boston, and that was with Jed, whom I see her as being with. Definitely they could be a match. And they did some sort of thing with the Celtics. She got a little advice from the Celtics. I don't know. It would look like a fun date, but then that advice part kind of threw me off. But they definitely enjoyed each other's company. It was definitely a sports themed episode. And after that, we had the group date with Rugby. Now, this is where Luke P and Luke S really bumped heads and really, I guess they both in their own way show their true colors on the field. Luke P is very aggressive, and he is very aggressive on the field. Now, I also have to say, I don't understand why they chose rugby. Rugby is a very brutal physical sport. This is not something for these guys to play if they've not played it before, and if you have someone who's a bit aggressive. So they knew what they were doing, but in introducing this as a group date. However, it did get a little dramatic and physical, to the point where Luke P and Luke S had totally different recollections of the same event. Luke P said that excuse me, Luke S came running at him full speed, and so he had to take him down. Okay, and then Luke S on the other hand said Luke P kicked him. Then after that, he said that he body slammed him to the ground and kneed him in the head. I mean, these are like, that's very, very violent. And Luke S said he's like really upset and about what happened. And Luke P, on the other hand, was spreading rumors that Luke S was just talking about his tequila brand, wasn't really talking about Hannah B at all, that he even inferred that he might just be there for his tequila brand. So as you can imagine, that will definitely cause some doubt in Hannah B's mind. Then it became a little bit of a lot of bit of a back and forth where Luke S, he actually confronts Luke P. But even before that, I believe because Luke P was like the first to get time with Hannah. So even before Luke S confronted Luke P, Luke was able to get time with Hannah and basically express what happened, his side of the event. And then after Luke P said his side, then Hannah B spoke with Luke S, and Luke S told his side. But it obviously could not end there, because then it wouldn't have been such an exciting episode, right? So some kind of way, Luke S thought it would be a good idea to confront Luke P and say, hey, you know, what you said wasn't true. You know what happened. Now, you know, she doesn't trust me. Then the guys kind of rally behind Luke S, and they like, yeah, Luke P, you should tell her, you know, that it wasn't true or something like that. But I mean, this is ridiculous. So he's like, okay. But instead of saying, oh, what the guys wanted him to say, oh, it's not true, Luke P doubles down on his version of the events and says, you know, everything I said, I believe is true. I don't think he's here for the right reasons. Blah, blah, blah. And obviously, some kind of way, this kind of get backs in one way or the other to Luke S. And so in this episode 4, we kind of leave it as to be continued. We still don't know what's going to happen, and that's how we are going into episode 5. I will say, though, that Luke P is walking on very thin ice. He's skating on very thin ice, because if, I'm not sure if I mentioned it because I was cut off, but in episode 3, you know, Hannah was very clear that Luke P was making her irritable. She was becoming very irritated by his demeanor and his actions. I remember I also talked about this last season of The Bachelorette, the difference between confidence and cocky, and I know some of my subscribers got excited about that because I've been seeing videos about this on YouTube, but I will be making my own video from the source. My idea, I'll be making the video, but the reason why I say this is because, you know, this is Hannah B's, is still very relevant in this season. This is Hannah B's feelings toward Luke P. And, you know, like I said earlier in the video, Luke P was there from the beginning at the very initial rose ceremony that happened live, you know, after the final rose. And so he's been there since the beginning. And I think that kind of just fuels him to believe, you know, he's supposed to be there. You know, there's also a potential sense of entitlement, just like Cam has, but just in a different sort of way. And Cam's sense of entitlement may come from, you know, his ideas and his stories and him wanting to be heard. And Luke P's sense of entitlement is coming from, you know, I'm supposed to be here, I deserve to be here, and I am here. And so while they're coming from two different sources in two different ways, they are coming across the same way as a sense of entitlement. And so, you know, Cam and Luke P have rubbed Hannah the wrong way. And if Luke P is not careful, he may have the same fate as Cam. And that's something that we'll see if it ends in episode 5. I'm not exactly sure how many episodes this one will be, but we are probably about halfway through. So we'll see what happens. Hannah B, also going back to, you know, episode 4, she had a good date with Tyler C, catching lobster, having dinner, and that sort of thing. And Tyler C opened up about his beginnings on The Bachelorette and how his father actually encouraged him to go on The Bachelorette. So I just thought that was really cute and sweet, and nice that he shared that. In terms of other people's reasons for going on The Bachelorette, Jed in his one-on-one shared that he thought it would be good for his music. But then he said after spending time with her, you can see that had an effect on Hannah B, and she was buying it and eating it all up, that he really, really cared for her. So do you guys think she let him off the hook a bit, or do you really feel like she was sensing that Jed was being very genuine in this story, and that's why she kind of let that go? Some other highlights to mention: Mike J really doubled down on Luke P's aggressive behavior on the rugby field. Again, rugby is an aggressive sport, so I don't know, but he called him a psychopath, and I mean, if you look at his eye expressions, I mean, they're really interesting. But Mike P called him a psychopath, and you can see Luke P's fists actually being clenched as they're having this exchange. I felt like, Mike J should just kind of like let some of the other guys do his bidding. I mean, like, this is not the first time he's confronting one of the guys. He confronted Cam in episode 3 about the interruptions, and now Mike J is confronting what's it called? What's his face? Oh my gosh, Luke P about his aggression on the rugby field. And I just feel like, Mike J, you just need to let some of the other guys go after them. Like, you don't always have to be the one to fuss at this person, because it's not even your fight. That's Luke S's job, and that is some of the other guys' jobs there. It's not just your job to go after these guys. But I can appreciate it. I can appreciate that he wants to be a leader. He is a leader, and he wants to show that he is a leader and showing that character trait. But again, I think now for the rest of the episodes, I hope that he doesn't take on this role of being the confronter. You've already confronted Cam. You've already confronted Luke P. Let the other guys do that job. That's not your job. Your job is to court Hannah B. So we'll see what happens the coming episodes, and I'm excited to continue to cover it. I don't really think there was anything else I wanted to mention regarding these episodes 1 through 4, but if there is a chance that I have left something out, as my subscribers, as those who are stopping by and watching, please subscribe. Feel welcome to just mention, like, hey, what about this? And I'd love to hear your thoughts on all of these things. Who do you think is going to be the next Bachelorette? Or I should say, Bachelor. And who do you think the Bachelorette will choose this season? Who do you think will be the top 5? Who do you think will be the top 3? And what do you think about Luke P's behavior on the rugby field? Was he acting on behalf of the rugby team that he was on to win and doing anything possible to win? Or was he way too aggressive? Do you believe Mike J is right when he calls him a psychopath? And do you think Mike J should take a backseat now when it comes to confronting these guys on their bad behavior? Because he's already done it so many times. What do you think about any of Scott? He left, I think it was, episode 1 or 2. What do you think about that? Do you think that it was fair that he left? Do you think obviously whatever Hannah B is feeling about that situation is justified and valid, but do you think that she took she jumped the gun on that one? Or maybe there just was not going to be meant to be anyway. I'd love to hear your thoughts, but thanks for bearing with me. The live stream didn't really work out, so I'm here having to do I did edit some of the live stream, and now I've recorded the rest of it. But I hope that you've enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you after episode 5, and I'm looking forward to continuing the rest of the season with you, whether it be live streams or pre-recorded. Watch, subscribe, and like, and thanks so much for watching. Bye bye bye.